Welcome back inside the garage, everyone. So I got the truck all pulled in. As you can see, it's a super tight fit. So I think I have just enough room to work around and can do the front, but I cannot do the back tailgate. And I've got it closed with air conditioning running just to keep it cool in here, just to keep the best possible conditions. And the main thing is keep this paint cool. So Decon Wash left kind of a film on the vehicle, not a film, but like some streaking, spotting. So that should all come off through the clay bar part of it. So what I decided is, so I have a clay mitt from Adams that I'm going to use. I've used this before on previous vehicles. It's worked really well. And I'm going to use their detail spray as my clay lube, which should also clean that spottiness or film, so to speak, off at the same time. And then it should prepare it really well for the two-step paint correction after. So we're still in the decontamination phase, which the clay mitt will get all the rest of the decontaminants off and leave the paint really slick and smooth into prep for paint correction. And then I've got a few towels, just some Adams. These are Adams single soft white towels that I'm just going to use to wipe up the residue after I clay bar. So I'm going to get started here. And on this side, I've got some good lighting on this side. I mean, good thing with the lights I have set up in the garage. So I can still see really good on the other side as well. Good part about this color is it's not too dark. Well, it's still pretty forgiving. I'm not sure how much you can pick up in the camera of spots or streaking in there. And the only challenge will be I'll have to step in the bed to get on top in the back. So I might have to actually turn the truck around later to get the back. That's what I'm thinking. I might even have to move it on this side of the garage to have better access to the other side, but I actually have pretty good access and pretty good lighting over there as I checked it out already. So let me use this. I'm just going to use the truck as a ladder to where I can start up right here. So when it comes to claying, you can't spray too much or use too much, and it kind of sounds like sandpaper. That's just how rough the paint is. So if you're doing this and you feel it start to grab, you just want to spray some more. And if I had some shade outside, or I washed it, first thing in the morning, super early, it probably wouldn't be as streaky. But that's kind of just part of the deal, like I've said before. I'm just going to wipe this detail spray residue. So the last series that you saw on my first M3, I did a one-step correction. I think I used Decon primer on that one, if I remember right. I see a little etching from a bug that he had up here. But I think I used Decon primer on that one. This one I'm going to use a two-stage or two-step paint correction. And I think I'm going to go with the Jescar correction compound, which I do buy that through Obsessed Garage. And then Sonax Perfect Finish. So Sonax Perfect Finish seems to be the #1 finishing polish. Like, I don't care which, it's not just Obsessed Garage, I don't care which YouTuber you watch. Pan, he uses it. Everybody just loves it so much. So I think that's what I'm going to use. I have some, and I should have enough to do the whole truck. So the clay part, may not be the most enjoyable process to you, but it's a necessary process. forget ceramic coating. I don't care even if you're just putting wax, old school carnauba wax. You know, this is back in the day. I used to use a clay bar 20, 25 years ago. And it just makes the biggest difference. It's also going to help the longevity of your coating because it's going to adhere better. And I clay everything. I clay the lights. You can clay your windows, mirrors. Now I put gloves on. You may notice that. So I didn't, I typically do, always, and I didn't when I washed it. It's outside and my hands are already so dry and sticky because that decontamination wash or that decontamination soap is not pH neutral and it strips everything, well, including strips everything off your hands. I don't even have lotion or anything, but just it kind of dries them out. This is much smoother now up here. He's got something white on there, almost like paint. All right, so I'm gonna start in the front fender here and just work my way across the truck. I did do the top, and I might need to do the pillar here. Yeah, I didn't do that part yet. But let's just talk while we do it. Let's get a little deep. Let's talk life. I haven't talked life for a bit. So as I have some time here, let's just talk about it. So, I've always been a really good sleeper. Fall asleep quick, sleep hard, sleep solid, all through the night. About, I guess about a year ago, I stopped sleeping as well. And I really noticed it in January. There was nights I could not sleep at all. My heart rate would go up. You know, my watch, my Apple Watch monitors that. I've always monitored my heart rate. It just gets abnormally high at night for whatever reason. And I couldn't figure it out, man, but I was losing sleep. I would try taking sleep aid. You know, you tried melatonin. So I finally was losing enough sleep that I just went to my family doctor. And I said, man, you gotta do some blood work. You got to do something to help me out here. You know, he asked me a lot of questions. Did anything change? Not really. I mean, he said, are you stressed out more than normal? I said, I don't think so. Not any more than normal. He said, okay. He said, I think we should do an EKG on you, which they did. It comes out perfect. And he said, I want you to wear a heart monitor for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks I had, let me fix my mic. So for 2 weeks I had this stick-on kind of portable heart monitor that I wore, and anytime I felt anything abnormal, I had to press a little button on it. I guess it would record some kind of way, store the data on it, and then after those 2 weeks, turn it back into the doctor. So I did that. Well, everything was fine. I'm just checking with my hand here just to feel if everything's okay. So everything was fine. So I'm like, man, what is going on? So he says, I think it's anxiety. And I'm like, from what? You know, I can't pinpoint anything. I mean, yes, it was probably the toughest year for my business, with the hurricane, with a major hurricane that we're still dealing with back from August. with claims and everything. And at the same time, one of my best friends, a guy that works for me, finds out he has stage 4 cancer. And that just changed a lot in the office. So I'm thinking it was anxiety. Man, it was really just, I guess things were just getting to me. I didn't realize it. So I started on some medication, first time in my life. And I'm not embarrassed by saying that. I hope if you're feeling ways that you don't expect, that you just go get help. Just seek help. So it's been about a month now. I guess they started me on the lowest dose of Prozac. I'm already somewhat OCD just in the way I do everything. So I guess that maybe doesn't help. Started me on the lowest dose of Prozac and something called Bispirine, which I've never heard of. I've heard of Prozac. I told the doctor, I said, the only thing I don't want is, I don't want to be fat and happy. I don't want any anxiety, but I don't want to be fat. I very much watch what I eat. And the doctor said, if anything, I think it's gonna make you lose weight. And I said, well, I don't want that either. So I've been on it for a bit now. Like I said, about a month. It's a little imperfection in the paint right there. And I feel a little more chill. It does make me more tired. I would say I am sleeping better. So I have a follow-up appointment next week to, I guess just to talk about it and see how it's working. But I would encourage you, if you are feeling any kind of way, don't be afraid to ask your doctor about it. I think I'm realizing, just in this world and life, so many people deal with anxiety, and it's some people don't want to admit it because they feel it's like a weakness. I don't care what I have. I want to be healthy and good. But I want to make sure that I'm at my best, so I can be best for my kids, my wife, my team at work. So I'll try whatever they recommend. And that's what I'm doing. So hopefully that helps somebody out there if you are feeling something, if you're losing sleep. Just talk to your doctor about it. It may be anxiety, you don't even know it. I'm a pretty positive person overall. I think I rarely look at the worst case scenario of things. I'm usually like, I don't know what's the term for it. I'm kind of blind to the bad. Sometimes I see good in every situation, which is not good as well, because sometimes you're less cautious. So it's like if I want to try something at work, it's going to work. I know it's going to work. I don't think of the things that go wrong, that could go wrong. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to think of everything as a pessimist or the glass half empty. I enjoy being a glass half full kind of person. And I listen to a lot of podcasts that keep me positive and motivated. If you've never listened to Ed Milet, I would highly suggest checking out his podcast. So he doesn't just talk about business. He does, but not as much as just life. He has all kinds of people, famous people, whether it's athletes, doctors, singers, people from all walks of life on his podcast who talk about, things like anxiety, things like nutrition, things like business, life, and you could just pick up so much good from listening to something like that. You know, and all I try to do all the time is just fill my mind with good things. And it changes the way you think on a daily basis. You know, I've heard Grant Cardone talk before about, you know, he battled with addiction and all kind of things, and he was told he had depression, and his thing was the only way, you know, some people just have addictive personalities. And for him, the only way to stop focusing on bad things like drugs or whatever it was that he battled with was to put so much attention and focus onto good things where he doesn't have time to even think about the bad things. And I guess I kind of try to live by that. These towels do leave lint. I've noticed the lint on the windows, and I'm gonna fix that after, but it's only negative to these towels, or any more plush microfiber towel. But yeah, Ed Milet, definitely one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I listen to Joel Osteen's podcast. It's always something positive, and you can relate it to your life. I listen to Grant Cardone's podcast. I listen to Michael Weaver, who he used to be a State Farm agent. Now he does like insurance sales coaching and all. But you know, I'm always listening to him because he has guests on his show that talk directly about our business and just being the best insurance agent you can be. So I'm always looking to get better in every kind of aspect in life. And I think as long as you're doing that, you can't go wrong. The only way you can go wrong is to quit. This paint's starting to feel pretty good. Feels like we're getting somewhere. So my time to listen is always in the gym. And I usually finish it out in the car and such, but my commute to work is 5 minutes. So I don't have a lot of driving time during the day. If I did, I would listen to more. But you know, that 45 minutes to an hour that I get in the gym every morning at 7 a.m., that's my self-development time, not just physically, but mentally. And I've been doing that for a long time. I used to listen to music in the gym, which is good too. That can be therapeutic, but it's probably been at least 2 to 3 years since I've listened to any music in the gym. I'm always a podcast or a book or something. So it's just amazing how many people don't put any effort, though, into self-development. They invest in crypto, but they won't invest in themselves. They'll invest in Walmart stock or Amazon stock or Google stock. They won't invest in themselves. You know, I don't enjoy reading. I just fall asleep on it. I lose interest. I don't know if it's a comprehension thing or what, but I've never enjoyed it since I've been young. Now, I'll listen to an audiobook though. You know, like I've listened to most of Grant Cardone's books. Ed Milet has a book that's about to come out. I've already pre-ordered it. It's the paper version, so maybe I can read a little bit here and there. I ordered it just to support him too, not like he needs my money, but those guys give out so much for free. I don't mind giving them 20 bucks. Kind of the first audiobook that kind of changed the game for me in sales and just the way I think. Like thinking bigger was the 10x rule from Grant Cardone. And when you hear him read it, it makes all the difference. A lot of people don't like him because he's intense and he sounds arrogant, and he spits so much truth. So much. A lot of people hate on him. A lot of people hate on all these guys. I don't hate on any of them. I take pieces from all of them. But Ed Milet, yeah, he's the one. His podcast has to be the best out there. Just the eye-opening things you learn about your health, nutrition, anxiety, mental health, business, life, mindset. You know, everyone needs a coach. I played golf growing up, played golf in college. Tiger Woods is and may always will be the most talented, greatest, most dominant golfer of all time, even more so than Jack Nicklaus. And guess what? Tiger has a coach. Always. You need other people telling you things, not just you. You need other people looking at you, not just looking at yourself. That's good to do, but you need both. You need it from a different perspective. And I wish I would have understood that more when I was younger, you know, because my dad tried to coach me pretty hard when it came to golf. And, you know, I didn't want to be coached. You know, I wanted to do it on my own. And I guess I was somewhat hard-headed. And had I listened to him just from the mental side of things, because he's been successful, my dad has, just in business, then I probably would have picked up a lot of things and gotten further in golf than what I did. So if I could go back and do some things differently, and maybe my dad would appreciate that, I would listen to him some more. So, you know, as kids, sometimes it's harder to take coaching from your parents. Just as a kid, sometimes, I mean, even my kids are like that. Sometimes they just want to spend more time on their video games than they do outside or something, but that's just kids. Kids will just be kids too at the same time. This is feeling pretty good. That's going to be in good shape, ready for polishing. Paint correction. So let me get the bed over here and make sure on the camera that it's picking up. Part of the reason I'm using this detail spray is I've got so much of it. I'd rather use, I have the diluted version of McKee's N14 for clay lube. I would say that is probably a little better. It's a little, it's not detail spray, you know, it's a little, has less in it. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's more of a simple solution. It's not going to leave anything behind. But I've got so much detail spray. And it works well. It's never failed me. It's all I've used for years for clay. Is this Adams detail spray. So some advice for today. Never stop investing in yourself. Never stop working on yourself, working on your craft, whatever your career is. It's what I'm always doing. And I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but you know, I never feel satisfied. Like at my office, man, I always feel like we have such a long way to go. We can do so much better. And I'm always wanting more and to improve more. And that puts a lot of pressure on myself. But I don't know how else to be. I don't know what else to do. I mean, there's insurance agents out there that sell and write so much business in a month, way more than I could ever dream. And there's some that never go to their office. You know, and the ones that just never go, I don't know how. I really wouldn't sleep at night. I've always felt like I should just be there and be working on the business, always trying to improve it, taking care of people as best as possible. If it's in my control, I'm gonna do it. You know, and just as much detail as I would put into a car, I want to put that same detail into taking care of a customer. So I'm not going to shortchange anything. See a scuff he's got over here. That'll come out in paint correction. Just a little surface abrasion. Something plastic might have hit it, a shopping cart, something like that. All right, so this side's all clayed. It's looking good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish claying. I'm gonna have to do the back, I'm gonna have to get on top. I'm gonna do the rest of the truck. And then we'll come back. So the next step we'll be getting ready for some paint correction, 2-stage. So now I'll film that to show you. I'm gonna have to tape everything off first, and we'll get to it. So I appreciate you guys that are listening so far, and I like this opportunity just to be able to talk sometimes, even though watching me clay might not be the most enjoyable thing, but hopefully you could pick up something just in life. So I appreciate you guys watching so far. Stay tuned. We're going to get to the next steps.